The city looks different from this perspective, finished. But is anything truly finished, or just paused between changes?